WandaVision, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow, What If, Shang-CH and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Eternals, Hawkeye, Spider-Man No Way Home. That is the list of all MCU content that released in 2021. Moon Knight, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, She-Hulk, Thor Love and Thunder, Miss Marvel, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, The Marvels, the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. That is the list of all MCU content confirmed to be releasing in 2022. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Fantastic Four, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Blade, Secret Invasion, Armor Wars, Echo, Werewolf by Night, Agatha House of Harkness, Loki Season 2, What If Season 2, a Wakanda spin-off show, Shang-Chi 2, a Ten Rings spin-off show, Captain America 4, I Am Groot, Deadpool 3, Marvel Zombies, Spider-Man Freshman Year, Ironheart, Spider-Man 4. That is a list of all announced MCU content. That all lines up to be 38 projects releasing in the next few years. So the question has to be asked, is the MCU doing too much? I remember at the start of 2021, I was hyped over the idea that we were getting 4 movies and 6 shows in 1 year, because at the time Miss Marvel was releasing in 2021. That ended up changing to 5 shows. But at the time, there were going to be 10 things in 2021. I was so excited. And then by the time Eternals rolled around, and then as we went into Hawkeye, I was really wishing the MCU would take a break. So it's safe to say that I was excited when I found out we'd have to wait until March 30th for the next MCU thing, that being Moon Knight. Marvel released 2 movies in 2008, Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk. We got 1 movie in 2010, 2 movies in 2011, 1 movie in 2012, and 2 movies in 2014, 2015, and 2016. For 9 of the MCU's first 12 years, movies were spaced apart, giving us only a couple movies a year with large gaps between them. But that all changed in 2017 when Marvel realized they had the audience right where they wanted them. If Marvel's name was on it, no matter what it was, no matter when it released, it would make money. So they released 3 movies in 2017, as well as in 2018, and once again in 2019. It took 12 years total, including 2008, to release the entire Infinity Saga. 23 movies in a span of 12 years. Then 2019 rolled around, and 2019 changed everything. Not just for Marvel, but for Disney in general. Disney Plus dropped on November 12th, 2019. It was a hub of all things Disney. Regular Disney, Pixar, National Geographic, Marvel, Star Wars, and then of course you get bundled with Hulu and ESPN, just putting everything Disney under one umbrella. And what Disney Plus did is it allowed content to be produced both for the big screen and the small screen. The coolest part about a superhero library is the sheer amount of characters that exist in that, meaning there are so many different possibilities for storylines that you can do. And Marvel has clearly been wanting to use as many of these characters as possible, naturally, and with Disney Plus, they had a way. As mentioned, in 2021 we got 4 movies and 5 TV shows. The number in 2022 is on track to match that number. And they have so many movies and shows announced that I've lost track of everything that's coming. And what's crazier is that the head writer of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Malcolm Spellman, has confirmed that everything Marvel announced is only scratching the surface of everything in development. I'm starting to get worried that Marvel fatigue is going to set in, and no one is going to want to see anything Marvel anymore. Because in my mind, an Avengers Endgame every 7 to 10 years is more impactful than an Avengers Endgame every 2 or 3 years. But we'll see if that statement comes out as true, because Spider-Man is at like $1.8 billion right now or something. And so for me, this whole debate on if they're doing too much or not boils down to quality versus quantity. Because you can be producing a lot of content, and if it's good, people won't get as sick of it. I feel like this is something Disney's actually really good at. As much flack as Disney gets for just how much stuff they're doing, for the most part, Disney's quality to quantity ratio is pretty good. A lot of their content is actually pretty solid. Not everything is. Don't get me wrong, a lot of it's bad. But in the Disney Plus era, Disney has produced a lot of content and a lot of good content. This is the case with Marvel. We've gotten so much Marvel stuff, but it's the quality of it that keeps a lot of people coming back. For me, this all boils down to quantity versus quality. I am someone who will always prefer quality to quantity. I'm sure most people would. I would prefer to have a fantastic story every couple years as opposed to a good story every couple months. Marvel was always pumping out content at a very, very fast rate, but there was a gap. We had months between movies. We had time to sit with something before we went into the next thing. We weren't sucking in Marvel on a weekly basis with only a couple weeks between different shows. The Marvel logo, I used to have more impact. I know I'm not the only one who feels this way. So when you would go into the movie and the Marvel fanfare would come on, you would lose it. You were in for something extraordinary. That's how it was for all these movies, especially Infinity War and Endgame. That thing started and you were already on the edge of your seat. I feel like that's less impactful now, because when I went to see Shang-CH, a movie I was very excited about, by the way, one of my most anticipated things of Phase 4, I go to see Shang-CH and the Marvel thing's not exciting anymore because I had seen it 2 days prior in What If. When I saw Spider-Man, I saw the logo on Hawkeye the night before. It's so constant now that I feel like Marvel's afraid to have a week off from content. Like, I feel like they're on track to get to the point where they have something releasing every one of the 52 weeks in the year. Don't get me wrong, the content's good. It is very good. Marvel has a great track record with their stuff. They release very good movies, very good shows, but I don't know. I kind of like a break. Nowadays, it feels like Marvel is introducing a new character every week and building a new story every month. There's no downtime to sit with any of this stuff. But I wouldn't say I've gotten sick of it yet. While I want Marvel to take a break, which is why I'm so glad that there's 3 months between Spider-Man and Moon Knight, I can't say I'm fully fatigued yet. Because I was very, very happy last year when I was like, oh hey, look at that, we got Hawkeye coming out. It'd be cool if they took a break, but we got Hawkeye coming out, right? That's how I felt. I was still feeling the hype. I was still on the hype train. I'm wondering how much longer it's gonna be like that. But some of this content just feels so unnecessary. And that's what really motivated me to make this video. Because it feels like, at times, they're filling an agenda they don't need to fill. Do we need an Agatha show? Do we need an Echo show? Do we really need Marvel Zombies? I thought we were trying to avoid Spider-Man's origin story. Part of the reason I'm looking forward to X-Men 97 so bad is because it's not supposed to be in the MCU. It's supposed to be a completely different universe, a direct continuation of the X-Men 90s cartoon. And there's a lot of rumors that they're folding that show into the MCU, and I really hope that's not the case, because I'm looking forward to it, because it's Marvel doing something not in the MCU, which is something I think they should do more of. It's like how Lucasfilm has recently started embracing things that aren't canon, like Star Wars Visions and some of the video games they're doing. They're like, yeah, let's make stuff that's not canon, where we can just have fun and do something else and not having to adhere to a certain continuity. I think Marvel should take that and also do it. I don't think, you can have good content not connected to the same universe, right? This is what DC figured out with Joker and now the Batman, is not everything needs to adhere to one continuity. It can still be good. People will still show up if you put time and effort into it. The MCU has a built-in audience, but that doesn't mean that audience is going to watch exclusively MCU stuff. The MCU has a built-in audience, but that doesn't mean that audience is going to watch stuff exclusively in the MCU, and I think Marvel's yet to realize that. My biggest concern is that Marvel will start flexing their brand instead of their writing if they aren't doing that already, which they very well could be. Iron Man worked because it didn't have a crutch to fall back on. It wasn't part of this giant cinematic universe. It didn't have to acknowledge all these other heroes and all these different events. It was a character that people weren't like massive fans of or that wasn't super known at the time the movie came out. What they did is they just focused on making Iron Man a good movie. And people showed up to Iron Man. And I know that because Iron Man is the reason the MCU exists. You don't need to focus on quantity. Focus on quality. That's what I'm getting at here. Do I think the MCU is doing too much? Oh yeah. In fact, I will lead the charge to get them to space out their things a little more. If I ever get a job at Marvel, I'm gonna walk in to a meeting, I'm gonna be like, yo, Kevin, Louis, Victoria, slow the hell down. I don't need Marvel every week to stay invested. I've been invested since 2008. I don't need to see something every week. I love this franchise because of quality. And until I start to see a quality dip, which I honestly fear might happen sometime in the next 4 years, if that, but I really hope it doesn't. But until I start to see that quality dip, I think we're fine. And hopefully in a few years, I'm not sitting here making a video on how I predicted Marvel's downfall. Because that would really suck.